One step at a time. The story of Daniel. Daniel was 34, living in a small, cluttered apartment in the outskirts of Manchester. Life hadn't gone the way he'd planned. He had dropped out of university in his early 20s to chase a business dream that never took off. Debt piled up. Job after job felt meaningless. Friends drifted away. And Daniel, once full of energy and confidence, woke up each morning with anxiety, barely able to face the day. He was stuck. One rainy evening, while scrolling through YouTube to distract himself from a late bill notice, he stumbled across a video about building better habits. Something clicked. It wasn't a motivational speech. It was calm, simple, and practical. Success doesn't come from one big moment, the speaker said. It comes from small, consistent steps. That night, Daniel made a decision, not to change overnight, but to start with one habit. He began with making his bed every morning. It seemed small, but it gave him a tiny sense of accomplishment. Then he added another, writing a to-do list the night before, with just 3 realistic tasks. Instead of planning a full life overhaul and failing, he focused on completing just apply for one job, go for a walk, and read for 10 minutes. Daniel paired habits with things he enjoyed: coffee before work, music during walks, and a podcast while cleaning. These made boring tasks more enjoyable. He hated washing dishes, but started listening to comedy podcasts during cleanup, and soon didn't mind it. He simplified his surroundings, cleared out junk, moved his desk near a window, and kept his phone in a drawer during work hours. Without constant notifications, he finished his tasks faster and felt less drained. He began reconnecting with people, starting small. A friendly chat with the cashier, helping his neighbor carry groceries, calling his mom every Sunday. His elderly neighbor, Mrs. Hill, started saving him a piece of cake when she baked. People were beginning to trust him again. When his part-time remote job ended, he panicked, but only briefly. Instead of sulking, he signed up for a free online course and began exploring a new skill: digital marketing. He told himself, "I'm not changing who I am, just adapting to the world I'm in." He used a habit tracker app and gave himself tiny rewards. After 7 days of sticking to his habits, he'd treat himself to a nice croissant from the bakery down the road. Some days were hard. He missed a walk, skipped a to-do list. Instead of quitting, he forgave himself and got back on track the next day. He wrote on his wall, "Never miss twice." He started volunteering once a month at a local community garden. It gave him peace and connection. Planting tomatoes with a retired teacher turned into deep conversations and practical advice about life. When a job interview didn't go well, he didn't spiral. He wrote down what he'd do better next time. He realized he spoke too fast and didn't ask enough questions. The next interview, he nailed it. Through all of this, there was Emma, the kind girl from next door. She worked from home, always smiled in the hallway, and occasionally checked in with a simple, "You okay?" She once caught Daniel taking out the trash in the rain, drenched, and handed him a spare umbrella. "You're always trying. I admire that," she said. They started talking more about books, podcasts, future goals. Emma encouraged him during his job hunt, reminded him to rest, and laughed at his old stories. One Sunday, as they sat on the front steps sharing coffee, Daniel realized he wasn't just rebuilding a routine or a career. He was rebuilding his life. One kind habit, one genuine relationship, and one small step at a time. Daniel didn't become a millionaire or a celebrity, but he had something better: purpose, peace, and people he cared about. He found stability in work, pride in himself, and yes, even love next door. Because real success isn't loud. Sometimes it's just quiet progress, one habit at a time.